Mathioli Charanam, Jayanandalala. So today's topic is about Shaligrama. What is Shaligrama? Shaligramam we use to pray to Lord Vishnu. It's a form of Lord Vishnu. This is what we know, we have heard of from our parents. And usually Shaligramam is, it jumps from one generation to another. It keeps passing on. So, என் தாத்தாட்ட இருந்தது. That's how Shaligramam is passed on. It's not something that usually go to the store and buy. So, it's usually kept for generations and it is passed down to the the daughter or son, or then granddaughters. It keeps going like that. And then, of course, nowadays people get so scared to keep the Shaligramam at home. They just go and put it in the river or give it to any temple. I'm not sure why, but that is what is happening. Now, just like Lord Shiva is celebrated in the form of a lingam, Lord Vishnu is celebrated in the form of a Saligram. Scientifically, okay, if you say scientifically, when you always science is involved in everything, right? Now that it's modern era, we need science for everything. So what is Shaligrama in science? Scientifically, it's a fossil. It's a fossil. It's a formation. It's a fossil for millions of years. It has formed. And it is found only in the Gandaki River. And the Gandaki River is a tributary of Ganga. And she flows in Nepal and through a region and touches Muktinath temple in that area. So Muktinath is Lord Vishnu's temple. Now we will go in detail through all these paths, okay? So that it comes together and you understand from the roots to the end. Now there are many manifestations of Lord Vishnu himself, right? So this Shaligramam will have these markings on it. And some of them, all the paraphernalias of Lord Vishnu, you will find in the Shaligram, like such as a mace and a flute representing Lord Krishna, conch, Lord Vishnu's one of the accessories, right? Lotus and disc, all those kind of things. So each Shaligramam represents an avataram of Lord Vishnu. Historically, Adi Shankara has also spoken about the significance of Shaligramam and its worship in his Upanishads. Now, there is a remote village in Nepal, and Lord Vishnu is known by the name of Shaligram, in Shaligraman in that village. And the village is known as Shaligrama in Nepal. And this is where this village is in the banks of the Gandaki River, where the Shaligrama stones are found, the fossils are found. Now, it's usually the Saligrama, the surface is very smooth and it has the marks on it. Like I said, depending on the avatar. There's a lot of markings, a lot of different shapes and sizes. You find huge Shaligrama stones there. And historically, they have existed nearly 100 million years. So you can imagine when they were formed, right? Now, scientifically, they are fossilized remains of creatures from the ocean called ammonites. It's an extinct group of marine animals which became extinct 65 million years ago. This is during the dinosaur period. You can imagine. It's from the Cretaceous era, same as the dinosaur. Now let's go to the story like we always do. How did the Gandaki River form? How did the Gandaki River come there? Now there is a story. There was a king's daughter named Priyambada. She's a big devotee of Lord Vishnu. So she, unlike any other princess, she was very involved with Bhakti Seva towards Lord Vishnu. And she had this special love for him. She was like a mother. Usually, when we say Lord Vishnu, the devotees think of him as a husband because he's a husband material. He's so good looking, Krishna. Krishna always, any devotee will think of him as her husband. Very rarely the devotee thinks of Krishna as the mother. Very, very rarely. Always these young girls think of him as a husband, my lover. So this is usual of Lord Krishna and Vishnu Bhaktas. They all love him so much and the Lord accepts that, right? It's a pure love, which is more than any love that a human can show to another human. This is beyond that. So when I say husband, it's not the husband of the earth, it's beyond that. It's beyond all any physical relationships. You understand? So that pure love that Lord Krishna receives is very unique to him. So this devotee, this princess, on the other hand, thinks of Lord Vishnu as her baby. So she always takes care of him. And she's so fond of him, um, giving him timely meals and taking care of him, water, everything, whatever before she has, she will feed it to her child, Lord Vishnu, and then she will eat. Lord Vishnu was so pleased with her penance that he showed up one day and he gave her asked for a boon, of course, asked her what boon she wanted, and she said that she wanted him to be born as her son in her next life. And the Lord was so pleased with her, he said, I will be born in your womb permanently in your next life. So permanently, now that is insane, right? It's such a blessing. Insane in a positive way. It's such a blessing that nobody has received such a honor of having this Lord always in their womb permanently. So he says, you will take the form of a Gandaki River and I will be born in your womb and remain there forever, he says. Now we get the picture, right? Gandaki River, Shaligram. So now we understand how the river came to be. Now, usually when you go to Gandaki River, you get Mukti. They say it's as good as Ganga because it's her tributary. Okay, she's a part of Ganga only. So when you dip in Gandaki River, you get Mukti, liberation, and bathing in the river is very auspicious. Now, this is where you find the Saligramam too. Now, each Shaligramam has a separate, different aura. They say, you know, the humans, they always say, don't keep this Shaligram. Don't keep that Shaligram. Oh, it's so powerful. Don't do that. Don't do this. There's no such thing like that. The aura, of course, is different for each Shaligram. One is more powerful than the other. It's all the manifestations. It is all the now the bow and arrow will have a different aura than the conch or the discus. It's all some of them are weapons, some of them are as accessories, arrogant, the conch per se. So every Saligrama has a different aura to it, and each of them is like a magnet. So it's as powerful as the other. So I guess every one of them is good to keep at home. Now, let's see how Lord Vishnu took the Shaligrama form. Why did he take this form? How did that happen? So let's go to the roots of that. Now, this is also a story about an Asura. And always we come to this stage where we talk about what power does to us, right? What power does. And this is, the scriptures speak so many stories. Like, I've got 100 sessions in the Mathioli channel and Nandalala channel, and everything speaks about the same thing, right? When you attain power, you misuse it. The main trinities, as we know, are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shivan. Now, Lord Indra, another subject always having a problem with power. Lord Indra becomes a little left out. They say FOMO. Because these three are getting all the attention. Now, he's getting a little FOMO, feeling out of place. He's like, why are these three getting all the thing when I am the king of heaven? I am everything here. I'm taking care of everything. And apparently he is. He's supposed to be taking care of all the devas, you know, the Surya Dev, Chandra Dev, all these attendants are, you know, coming and giving him. So paying respects to him, giving all their respects to him. So he all of a sudden developed this pride. That's the problem. It hits you. When you have the power, it hits you. And he developed this pride and he wanted to challenge. So he thought, okay, he's protecting, so let's not mess with him. Brahma's creating, we need him. The one who does not do anything is obviously Lord Shiva. He's always meditating. So let's attack him. He's always in the yogic posture. So let's go and attack him. And take his place. So he just developed this false ego that he could defeat Lord Shiva in a fight very easily because he's a yogi and he's always in meditation. So he went to Kailayam. Lord Shiva, through his yogic powers, knew that Lord Indra is coming for a fight. So what does he do? He disguises and he pretends to be the doorkeeper of Kailayam. So he greets Lord Indra as he walks towards the door. He greets him. Indradev, my pranams to you. And Lord Indra says, where is he, your master? Um, can I know what is the problem? The gatekeeper asks. He says, well, I have something to settle with him. Oh, well, that is not very, clear what you want, but if you could make it more clear what you want to settle, then I can go and give your message. And Lord Indra says, no, I want to defeat your Lord. Please call him out. Then the Shivagana, of course, the Lord in the form of the Shivagana says, is it so? You want to defeat my Lord? Well, of course you can, but first you have to defeat me, he says. If you defeat me, then you can go inside and defeat him. Then there was this big fight between the two, Indra and so-called the Shivagana. And Lord Indra realized that he's not able to hurt him, even give him a little scratch. whereas he's getting scratched all over and beaten up. Then Indra realized that this Shivagana itself is so powerful. So then he starts fighting. He doesn't give up. He's still fighting. And the Shivagana is on the ground, flat, and the Shivagana's like standing like this, without even one scar. It goes for a long time. And Lord Indra is realizing this is not an ordinary thing because Shivaganas are not as, more powerful than me. I could have easily defeated. No, this is the Lord. He's playing with me. And he slowly gets up and looks at him, and this Shivagana is very angry. He's got this eyes like fire, and that's when he realizes this is Lord Shiva and runs and falls at his feet. That's when the Lord shows his actual form, that yes, I am the Lord Shiva himself. And his third eye is opened, and there's a huge fire. If he lets it out, Indra is burnt like Kamadeva. That's it. Basmam in seconds. They say, it takes a while for the body to burn when you are in the funeral. But when Shiva lets out this fire, it's instant. It doesn't need time. Basmam in seconds. So Indradev was so scared. He was shivering, trembling. He went and caught his feet and begged for his forgiveness. He said, I'm a fool. I'm stupid. I should not have done this. I am so sorry, my Lord. Please, please forgive me. Please forgive me, he says and pleads. He could visibly see the third eye opened and the fire over there. And his eyes were so red. Like I've always said, when Indradev was given the responsibility to take care of other matters regarding the other devas, and so that everything else is running in peaceful order. And he himself comes to this state where he wants to snatch the power from his upper authority, who's the Lord himself. It's not excusable. But yeah, Indradev was very lucky that day. His cries and apologies reached the Lord, and kind as he is, the Lord forgives him. Now, the fire that was there on his eyes, Indradev could see that it just flew from his third eye, and it just flew out into thin air. That he saw. And the Lord was very angry. And of course, after that, after the fire left, he calmed down. And then he says, Indra, you made me very angry today, he says. I was tempted to burn you to ashes. Indra shivered. He shivered and he realized it was a narrow escape. A narrow escape. He would have been ashes like Kamadeva. Now Indra knows what happened. So he was like trembling. Swami, he says, I'm I'm so glad you took my apologies. You accepted it. Thank you for that. You're the most kindest, he says. Swami, I saw a red fire-like thing, fly out of your third eye. What was that? He asks. Lord Shiva says, that was my anger. I have to deposit it somewhere. I did not use it against you. I was supposed to, but I didn't. Now it's inside the ocean, he says. Dev did not understand anything. It was like Greek for him. But he was so glad that he was in one piece. So he took the Lord's blessings and he left Kailayam. Now that fire that was, that emanated from his eyes, third eye, it went and settled in the ocean and became a baby. That gave birth to the baby. That baby was brought up by the ocean. Its cries were heard by the whole universe. It's Lord Shiva's anger. I remember Ambal telling, I've mentioned this many times. We always go and tell the Lord, why aren't you getting angry? Why aren't you getting angry? Get angry and bash up these people. Anger for the gods is not like anger for humans. It's very different. When gods get angry, it destroys the universe. So for your petty fights or whatever it is, if you say, God, please get angry, we are also going to be destroyed. That anger is not the same. So do you see this now? Let's see what happens. Now, this so-called baby, Brahma named him Jalandhara because he was, in the ocean. And obviously he was Asura because of the nature. He was born by the anger of Lord Shiva. So you can imagine he didn't need any guru or any knowledge given for him. It was all embedded in him, always. He was born with it. All the Asura qualities were already in him. So it attracted all the negative energies. Now, when you have the Asura qualities and when you are very powerful, you are going to attract all the Asuras who are wanting a powerful, king to defeat the Devas. So that's what happened. He attracted all the other Asuras towards him. Because they were wanting someone powerful to defeat the Devas. Always there's a war. So he became very powerful and Shukracharya came and became his guru. The Asura guru, Shukracharya, took him for the king and made him the king. So he was crowned the king of Asuras. And then he married an Asura king's daughter named Vrinda. She was very beautiful. And mostly the Asuras are devotees of Lord Shiva. But Vrinda, on the other hand, was a big devotee of Lord Vishnu. It's another girl, right? Another princess. Now, this princess is different. She loved Lord Vishnu like her husband. So she always imagined him to be her husband. Always first Lord Vishnu was her husband, and then whoever she's married will be her husband, you know. That was her way of, her puja and everything. So she saw Lord Vishnu as her husband. Lord Vishnu loved Vrinda. Lord Vishnu's favorite devotee. So he always answered her prayers. And they had this very sweet relationship as the devotee and the Lord. And Vrinda was very beautiful. Her father got her married to Jalandhara, the Asura that we were talking about. Jalandhara married Vrinda, and because of Vrinda's devotion, that pure devotion, he became more and more powerful and invincible. Wow, what devotion does. Now, the Devas are getting worried. They know that, this is happening, but they didn't know what was going on under the ocean, what the Asuras are planning. What Jalandhara did was he ambushed Indradev in Indralokam and went with his army and got hold of Indralokam. Now he is in Indralokam. Jalandhara is ruling Indralokam. Indra is fled from there. He comes to Lord Brahma and falls at his feet with the other devas. Lord Brahma tells Indra that this is the fire that was supposed to be used for you. That is from the Lord's third eye that came and attacked you now. The only person that can destroy it is Lord Shiva. So let's go there. And they all go to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was just waiting for this moment. He knew this was going to come one day. He's already ready. So he tells the Devas not to worry and we'll have to get into a war with Jalandhara. Meanwhile, Jalandhara got to know that Lord Shiva was planning to wage a war against him and attack the Indraloka. So what he does is, he is very powerful. I mean, you can imagine, he is formed from the Lord's anger. What do you expect, right? At that time, when he is planning to wage a war against the Lord, Narada is passing. Whenever Narada comes, it's for good only. So Narada passes by, not by chance. He's got an idea plan, So he passes by and Jalandhara sees him and he gives all the respect because Narada starts praising Jalandhara. Oh, king, you are so good. You are that. You are this. You are so powerful. You made all the devas run away and you captured the Indralokam. Look at you. You own that throne and you own that crown and all that. He starts praising him. And Jalandhara, he loves to hear praises. So he's like, Munivar, please come in, and washes his feet and makes him very comfortable. Now, Narada says, Jalandhara, you're very powerful. You have captured Indraloka like this. But you know when I will accept you are really powerful? When you capture Kailayam. When are you going to do that? He says. Do you know Kailayam has the most beautiful woman residing there? The goddess herself. I can only imagine her sitting next to you, Jalandhara. You would be complete then, he says. You are not complete now without the most beautiful woman. She's the most beautiful in the entire universe. Because you're the most powerful in the entire universe, you need a woman like that, he says. Now Jalandhara is in his dream world. He's already imagining Parvati Devi sitting beside him. He's in building castles in the air. He immediately summoned the army towards Kailash. Now, Jalandhara is already, I told you, very powerful. He can create illusionary visions. He's a master of Maya. So, if he comes in front of us, he can do this and we will be in a different world. We will forget where we were. That is how dangerous and powerful Jalandhara is. So, when he entered Kailayam, he saw Lord Shiva with his kanas. He immediately did something and put them in all in an illusion. Putting the Lord in illusion is impossible, but yeah, that time he allowed him to put him in that illusion. While the Lord was in illusion, apparently, he approached the goddess, who was alone in her chambers. He went to the goddess and he says, he's disguised as Lord Shiva. So he had the courage to turn himself into Lord Shiva and approach the goddess. Think about what nerve, huh? He's so ignorant. He had no idea what he was doing. So he approached the goddess and she looked at him and he says, Parvati, I have defeated Jalandhara, he says. Parvati looks at him and immediately knows that is not her lord. She closes her eyes and she opens and she's so angry now. Her eyes are red and she screams, Jalandhara, you think I'm a fool? And she immediately goes and picks up her sword. Jalandhara is trembling. His legs are weak and he runs out of there. He has heard a lot of stories about the goddess. So he did not want to mess with her. So he left that place immediately. He could feel the whole legs weak and trembling. She was fuming in anger, and that's when Lord Vishnu arrives in Kailayam, and Lord Shiva also arrives at the scene, the actual Lord Shiva. So she tells them what happened. Both of them are very angry. Now, Lord Vishnu says, there is only one way we can solve this. He is got so powerful because of his wife. Every time he goes to war, she prays to me. And that is how he gets the power, Lord Vishnu says. The only way is I have to stop her prayers. So he says to Lord Shiva, you go to war with Jalandhara. At the same time, I will go to Vrinda as Jalandhara. There is no other way, he says. So while Lord Shiva wages war against Jalandhara and Vrinda is sitting to do her prayers to Lord Vishnu, Lord Vishnu walks in as disguised as Jalandhara. So Vrinda is so happy to see her husband back. She comes and gives him a hug. She embraces him. And Lord Vishnu is spending time with her. Obviously, she's strict. Over there, Lord Shiva has pierced his Trishulam in Jalandhara and killed him. So do you see that how these two are correlated? Just like Lord Vishnu says, the power comes from the prayers. So powerful the prayers are. Now when he got pierced, Brinda could feel something. She felt something odd and uneasy, and she knew something bad had happened to her husband. Though her husband is right there, she immediately knew that was not her husband. She stepped back and she asked, who are you? And Lord Vishnu immediately shows his actual form. And he looks very sad at Brinda. His face expression was showing sadness. And then she starts crying, Swami, it's you. Where is my husband? She asks. Where is my husband? Did they kill him? What happened to him? Why are you here? Like him. You have disguised like him. Why did you come? Lord Vishnu slowly tried to make her understand. He says, Vrinda, Jalandhara is dead. Your husband is no more now. He was getting too powerful. He was waging wars against the Devas. He was an Asura. We Devas have to put an end to an Asura. Otherwise, the universe will come to an end. And you were praying for the well-being of a person who was waging war against the Devas. You being my devotee should have known what is good and bad. She was sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. She was so angry that he came as Jalandhara and tricked her. So in that anger, in that fit of anger, she said, I believed you. You're the only one I believed in. I prayed to you and you cheated me. You are a stone, she said. You're a stone. You have no feelings. I curse you. I curse that you will be born as a stone. Lord Vishnu was not sad or disappointed that she cursed him. He was not upset. He understood her anger. He said, Vrinda, I accept your curse. I accept your curse. And like you said, I will be born as a stone. After she cursed, she felt miserable. She felt miserable. She was crying. She was holding his feet and crying. What did I do? What did I do? And he said, Vrinda, we had no other option because your husband disguised as Lord Shiva and went to goddess Parvati. That was the limits, Vrinda, he said. That's when she knew, yes, her husband was bad. And what she did was bad too. Praying for the well-being of a person, a husband, whoever it is, right? In this case, it was her husband, and she was praying for his well-being when he was continuously doing wrong. And this she felt miserable after hearing that he disguised as Lord Shiva himself and went to goddess Parvati. And she was crying and she said, I'm so sorry. I did a blunder. I cursed you, my beloved Lord. I cursed you. So the Lord said, don't worry. Don't worry about the curse. And she couldn't bear it. She couldn't bear it. She said, I'm going to jump into the fire. And she jumped into the fire. But the Lord Vishnu, gave her the boon that she will be born as Thulasi in her next life. So Vrinda was born as Tulsi in her next life. She emerged as Tulsi from the fire, and immediately Lord Vishnu marries her in the form of Lord Krishna. And that is why even today, every year, there is a festival where Lord Krishna gets married to Tulsi Devi. This usually happens during the Kartigai Masam, October, November time. Tulsi Devi is an avataram of Mahalakshmi. Now, because Lord Vishnu was cursed by Vrinda to be a stone, he took birth as the Shaligram. And as he promised the princess Priyamvada, who was the princess of the king who prayed to Lord Vishnu to be born as her son, she took the form as Gandaki River, as he promised. And Lord Vishnu takes the form of Shaligramam forever in her womb, in the Gandaki River. Now, this place has the Muktinath temple. Even, today, the Lord Vishnu there, it's one of the 108 Divyadeshams. And this one is in Nepal, Muktinath temple. And even today, of course, a favorite offering of Lord Vishnu or any avataram of Vishnu is Tulasi. Just one Tulasi will be very happy. That is what the scriptures say. Now, Shaligramams can be kept in the house. Like I said, there is no fear, and something has to be offered to it. Water, Tulasi. It's pretty simple. Every day, some naivedya. If you have an altar, if you have a puja room, a puja, a separate place, an altar, you have to give something, offer something for the gods. Whatever you eat, you know, I always tell people in the morning you have your breakfast, right? Kanji or oatmeal. Give it to the Lord and then go to work. Offer to the Lord and then you eat it and go to work. So in the morning itself, that job is done. Or give the milk that you're going to pour in the oatmeal. Offer that milk with sugar and use that milk for the oatmeal. It's pretty simple, but something has to be offered every day. Now, the Tulasi benefits are many. We all know what Tulasi is, and we all may be having, some of us have, some of us don't. But Tulasi has been used in Ayurveda for millions of years. It is called the queen of herbs. Obviously, it's a goddess, right? To see it. Every part of the plant is beneficial. No part is useless. It has antioxidant properties. It lowers blood sugar. It lowers bad cholesterol. It regulates blood pressure, decreases inflammation. It's good for curing diabetes, obesity, arthritis, stress, anxiety, fatigue. So I would just recommend one Tulasi a day. One leaf takes care of everything. Vrinda, now Tulasi. And the Lord's favorite. See what happens to the devotee. The goddess herself was born as Vrinda, and the goddess herself became Tulasi. And such a nice journey of a devotee. See why a goddess is born, to show us that if you have pure devotion, why should the goddess be born? We've seen this forever, right? In our scriptures, they are born to show us how it is a journey of a devotee, how it kind of paves way when it's the pure devotion and what we receive from pure devotion. A little bit about the Muktinath temple. It stands on a remote valley in Nepal at an elevation of 3,710 meters above sea level. One of the 108 Divyadeshams. Now, there are 8 stalams that are Swayam Vyakta, self-manifested, of Lord Vishnu, and this is one of them. Muktinath is what? Salvation, liberation. It's like we saw Vrinda getting Mukti as Tulasi. We saw Priyamvada, the princess, getting Mukti as Gandaki River. And we saw even Lord Vishnu giving all of us another beautiful form of him as the Saligram in this place. So it's all coming together at this place where the temple also resides, on the banks. So he is the one who gives liberation. So Muktinath. It's a pagoda style temple. And people from 2 religions come here, and that is Hindus and Buddhists. Buddhists also come here. One of the most ancient temples of Lord Vishnu. Now, how it's so nice to, in the story, how Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu come together to destroy this Asura. That was really fascinating. how they helped each other out, right? Now, here in this temple, there are two holy ponds, Lakshmi Kund and Saraswati Kund. So, taking bath here is removing all the negative karmas. It's just like, Ganga or any other divine sacred rivers. Same benefits here. There is a golden statue of Lord Vishnu here. And behind the temple, there are 108 water spouts. I've actually seen this of course, on TV. I've not been there, but it's so beautiful, even in a video to watch this. 108 water spouts like a bull face, bull head. And the water from the Gandaki River comes through that bull head, through the 108 water spouts. And everybody go under that 108 water spouts to drench themselves. 108 is also totaling up to 9. Something with this 9, huh? Powerful number. I actually enjoyed this session. Mathioli Charanam, Jai Nandala.